Okay, a special video, and here we go. Back into the Dragon's Lair. Another jam for the Red Ryder. So we'll demonstrate on the 1999. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with this gun, but it is a Red Ryder variant. So I just got contacted by a young gent, and he had a jam I'd never seen before. Okay, and I'm going to try to describe it. I have all the loose parts, and then I will get hands-on with the fix for this. And so he shot a very good video. Here, I'll go ahead and demonstrate. He was cocking it, but instead of doing all the right things, meaning that the gun doing all the right things, see it cocked, it grabbed the sear on the trigger blade down here in the trigger assembly, and now it's slack. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. 3/8 of an inch from the top of that lever to the L shape right there of the frame, to that curvature right there. So it should be 3/8 of an inch, and that is the measurement. And then you fire the gun. Okay, so what we're having happen is in his video he shows himself cocking a gun's grinding away. It stops somewhere around here short, and then instead of doing exactly what I'm just showing there, meaning the anti-bear trap does its job, it doesn't do it. It's grinding all over the place, and the lever comes back down. So it is a slack trigger, but this is the gun that in good operating condition. See, I didn't cock it all the way. But so what happens? The anti-bear trap does its job. It grabs right here and is holding it right there in free space. And so that's the way it's designed. Okay, and then when you cock it correctly, 3/8 of an inch from the top of the lever to that cutout right there, then it fires. So I'd never seen a jam like that to where the plunger, okay, this is your power plant, your plunger and the anti-bear trap, it's grinding away. The anti-bear trap's designed to stop it from coming forward, but the fact that it's grinding away and just defeating the anti-bear trap, I've never seen that. So this is actually a perfect video for this trigger you see here, because people who are in the know have asked me, what's wrong with your trigger? Well, the trigger itself is fine. It's two pieces. It is a marriage of an anti-bear trap with that clasp right there, with that rivet, and then the actual trigger assembly. Okay, and the sear is right there. And then you pull the trigger, and your power plant, or that is your plunger, flies home. Okay, so what's wrong with this? Just one day I was looking at it, and the catch point right here where the spring that attaches to the back of the anti-bear traps locks under here and locks there snapped off. So then this didn't work right anymore. The anti-bear trap, it's technically, the anti-bear trap's disabled. So I've stayed away from actually making a video on disabling the anti-bear trap, because that's a safety mechanism by Daisy. It's a Daisy safety mechanism, and could run afoul of Daisy and YouTube if I'm disabling safety devices. So it's not that I'm disabling something, it's broken. So in this video, I'll at least discuss. I won't show how to take it off. It's pretty straightforward, but I'll discuss, because I'm not disabling a safety device. It's broken. I demonstrate a lot with this trigger so you can see things more clearly, because the spring is off. Okay, usually it's under this catch point right here, right there. It catches there, a spring puts tension on it, and it goes like this when you're working your plunger, when you're cocking your gun. The whole idea with this is so it doesn't mousetrap your lever. So it's catch caught on one of these if you do not cock your gun. It hangs out in free space right here. Okay, so that your lever does not mousetrap you. Okay, so this looks like this happened in someone's gun, to where the catch point for the torsion spring for your anti-bear trap snapped, and so it looks like this. Something is going wrong with the gun. So first of all, we have to be careful here, because if the plunger is hanging out on anti-bear trap anywhere on there, it will if we try taking it apart, it'll suck your trigger inside, and usually that's it for most people. So we got to cover our bases here. Okay, I haven't actually seen this jam before. I had this break on this loose trigger assembly, but this is what looks like happened inside someone's gun. So you start by getting a nut driver and take the nut off first. Okay. Okay, so we get that off. change out to a Phillips number 2. Okay, so we have to make sure that that anti-bear trap is not trying to do its job and the plunger is not stuck somewhere on there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take that off, because the video I saw, the young lad, he had it about right there. It's not all the way forward, so we can't have the anti-bear trap holding this at all. We can only disassemble it if it's off of those teeth. If it's, you know, up here. So now I'm going to get a flashlight and we're going to look in here, and then we're going to show you how to use this pick to make sure that this is slack. Your gun will be upside down. You slip this inside of it. You slip it inside of it, inside your gun, slip underneath it, and then pull it. And if it's slack and it pulls freely, then we're in shape and we can take the gun apart. So let me get a flashlight and we will look in there. Okay. All right. So as you can tell where that back of the plunger is, and that's in a healthy gun. And it's impossible to see where exactly. Okay, here, there we go. Let me get a little close in on that so you can get a little zoom on there. There we go, and then I'll shine a light on it. Okay. So, okay, is it going to straighten out for me? No, it's going to stay blurry. Okay, there we go. There it is. Okay, so that is where your plunger needs to be for you to disassemble the gun. If it's back any further than that, so I'll give everybody a good look at that, your trigger will get sucked into your gun if you try taking it apart. That's where your plunger is supposed to be. Any further back, like let's say here or here, it's writing on your plunger. So if you see it and it looks different than what I just showed you, I'm going to try to demonstrate for the first time on camera here. Okay, so I showed you where that needs to be. I gave you a good long look at that. So look, so when you come in here, like this is an operating gun. So I come in, and remember it's on your left side. So I come in here with the hook, with a pick. You can get these are cheap. I come in there, and see right there, I grabbed it. And it's moving freely. So okay, the anti-bear trap's not jam, and this gun can be taken apart. The stock can come off, the trigger screws, all those screws, the nuts first, then screws, that all can be taken apart. Okay, so let's review. You come in with your pick, you come in here on the left side, get under there, see? And I can feel that anti-bear trap, it's in play and it's moving, and that's working. And again, one more look at where that's supposed to be. There you go. Ooh, that's a good one. Not a close-up, but you can see where the back of that plunger is supposed to be, pretty far forward. Okay. And we're in shape, so this gun can be taken apart. Now, if that's not the case, and you put your pick in there, and you're going to want to, if you get resistance, then you go from a cute grip like what I got, you get into a power grip, and then you get in there, and then you give it a hard jerk, and that will release your plunger, and you'll hear it, and then you can take your gun apart. And stock, remember, so nuts first, then your screws, stock, and I have a video to put the trigger back in. That can be a little tricky, not bad. Okay, so we're looking at a potential trigger where the catch point for your torsion spring for your anti-bear trap has snapped, and that has now, so what happens, you get your trigger out, and I'm not going to demonstrate, I have to be very careful, the legalities here. When a lawyer told me you cannot do a video disabling a perfectly good safety mechanism, well, it's not good. It's broken, and you're trying to save your gun. Remember, this is two parts. It's a marriage of an anti-bear trap and a classical Red Ryder trigger assembly, sear assembly. Okay, trigger blade, sear. So we're going to unmarry it. We're going to divorce that. So you're going to, in a situation like this with the catch point broken, you're going to take off that spring. You're going to push this forward, and there's a little gap right there from the fastening point, and take a Dremel tool and cut here and here. And try not to cut the plastic, so get to the point where you can snap this off basically, but cut here and here where you see that gap where I opened up a gap here. So imagine a Dremel tool, so you cut there and you cut here. Take the spring off first, and then you can put this back in your gun. The screw goes through there, obviously, and you'll have a red Ryder. You won't have anti-bear trap anymore, so be careful. I need to be careful with respectful to Daisy here. They put that in there to protect people. Is when you cock this, you keep your other hand up on that forearm and you cock it. You make sure you hear that click. Okay, because what happens, here's what was happening. It was coming down, it could damage the stock. People would put their hand here and they'd get broken fingers, hurt fingers. Some people say it didn't hurt them. Other people said it definitely hurt them. So remember, why Daisy did that. So, when you cock it without anti-bear trap, you make sure you hear that click and keep the other hand off here. One hand is in the lever and one hand's on your forearm. Okay, thank you.